So, Lori, thanks so much for doing this chat with me today. So, if you can just introduce yourself real quick.
So my name is Lori Groves. I am the Chief Financial Officer at Klickitat Valley Health. We are a critical access hospital in Goldendale, Washington.
So, we worked with you with AI and automation, and we had some great experience working with your team. And thank you so much for all the work we did together. And it really worked quickly because your team interacted with us really quick and gave us answers. But what led you to considering using AI and automation, and what were you hoping to achieve from your team?
So we originally started talking about it. My CEO, I think, had met you at a conference, and my CEO is a former IT director, so he is super into technology, whereas I'm an accountant. I'm a pen and paper kind of girl. So I kind of pushed it off, kind of ignored it. We had a couple of meetings with you guys. And then I lost my business office manager and a few of my billing staff, and I was down 5 people out of 12. And I was like, okay, what am I going to do? I need something to help me now. And what can I do to get this going? Because finding staff in a rural area is not easy. And what ends up happening is we hire someone and then we train them from ground up. And it takes so much time. And then the turnover rate isn't great. So we end up just struggling trying to find staff. So finally I gave in after talking with you and Kelly and a lot of conversations. And I'm like, okay, I'm at the point now where I don't have a choice. I need to do something fast. So we started talking to you guys about what we could do. I think we um started talks in the summer, really dived into it like through the winter, and we started implementing and doing our calls in February. So um, by then I had gained a few staff, but there's still all the inefficiencies that come from staff. And there's too much to do in any given day. So we just needed to find a way to streamline some stuff.
So once you determined that you wanted to use AI, how did you go about the selection process?
We had talked to multiple vendors, and then narrowed it down to two that I felt really had the expertise to give us what we were looking for. The one company was looking at more of taking over our entire business office, and being in a rural area. I have 19 jobs in the rev cycle, and I couldn't fathom losing 19 jobs in our small hospital district. It's not something I feel good about. It's not something our CEO would feel good about, or our board. And so that one kind of quickly went out of the running. Besides the fact they were slightly more expensive by, well, probably by times five. Um, and so for us, that wasn't really a good option because I just couldn't fathom having 19 living wage jobs go away. So we really focused on our interactions with you guys after that, because I love the idea of I'm not a programmer. Like, I know what I need, I know what the end result is, but I can't make the bots do it. I can't tell them what to do. And just the support staff that we thought we would have with you guys was just made it great for us. And so that's why we ended up going with SphereGen.
Thank you.
Mhm.
After we did our initial AI perspective change on the first deployment, was there, what was your opinion after the first? I know we did it like within 2 weeks. I think we had the first one up and running. What was the perspective change from you and your staff?
So we started with probably the easiest, simplest process.
Yeah.
And it was something that I was doing on a daily basis. We have an interface with our physical therapy. They have a completely different software that has to be, all the billing and all the medical records has to go into Meditech somehow. It was a completely manual process where every day the file needed to get downloaded from the rehab software and then uploaded into Meditech. The billing file isn't crazy. It's one file that has to be moved every day. The medical records for every single patient that needed to be seen or that was seen during the day, we had to download an individual file and upload it into Meditech. Well, so that was the first thing I did with my day every single day was upload all this. Um, it could take me, depending on how many patients they saw, anywhere from 15 minutes to 3 hours. And I have a lot of things to do. I mean, you can imagine a CFO of a hospital. This is probably
Sure.
not the best use of my time. Um, and I said, okay, like the return on this isn't going to be like our big our big deal, but job satisfaction, at least for me, I have stuff to do, and it just means I need to stay here extra hours. So we did that one first. I think we had it going within 2 weeks, and oh my goodness, like I can't even tell you like how happy it makes me to have this done because it's not like that we needed to do this. And yes, I could have taught somebody, but I need someone consistent to do it and know that they're doing it every single day. And when we had different people doing it, you never knew if it was actually going to get done and get done timely. And, when insurance companies are asking for medical records and they're not in there for us to grab, it was a nightmare. So for me, I mean, it was the best first one to do because I immediately gained time back to my day.
And beyond the first one, and once your team got used to the bots being there, can you share any positive or negative outcomes from the team's perspective about using bots?
So I would say when we first started talking about it, there was a lot of negative connotations that came with it. I think what it seemed like for my staff is they felt like, oh, like we've heard about AI, this is going to replace us. We're not going to have jobs. And I spent a lot of time prepping my staff of this is why we didn't go with the other company. Like I don't want it to replace your job. What I want is it to gain some efficiencies. There are so many things that need to be done in any given day for our billers and our receipt posters and our front end. They do not have enough hours to do it all. Um, After the first bot, two of us were thrilled. After the second bot, when we started doing the eligibility checking and then the claims processing after that, all of a sudden, like the light went on for them. And they started realizing that this isn't a bad thing. This is actually going to help us. And so we went from where everyone was like not really wanting to lean into this until finally saying, okay, you know what? This is good. And then they started coming to me saying, wait, could it do this too? Could it do this? What about this? Because they started realizing now that they don't have to do this task oriented, mundane things, they could focus on the items that really mattered and start getting to work on some of those appeals and things they didn't have time for before. So then we actually rolled it out to all of our managers throughout the hospital and asked them what things do you think could work for you? So they're all brainstorming right now of ways that we can use bots throughout the rest of the district beyond the business office.
Awesome. So what advice would you give other CFOs considering using AI and automation?
Don't be terrified of it. I was. And now I look back and I'm like, oh my goodness, we should have done this 5 years ago. Um, it's it's scary. It is intimidating and it is completely new. And for most of us CFOs, like we use Excel and we use pen and paper and we like it's hard to trust an automated process, but the efficiencies that you gain from it are so worth it. We went from I'd have to look at our hours that we're saving on doing this, but easily this year we're going to save a couple $100,000 from denied claims and all the work that we've been doing. And moving forward, it's just I'm kicking myself for not doing it sooner. I'm kicking myself for like the first conversation that we had last year. Why didn't I do it then? Because I could have been doing this for a year instead of just 6, 7 months now.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for your time, Lori. Really appreciate
Yeah.
all your support and your openness to try this technology. A lot of people are resident. AI is new. We've been doing it a long time, but we realize that AI is new to people. So thank you so much for all your time. I appreciate
Yeah.
everything you do, and we look forward to working more in the future.
Great. Thanks.